after we'd managed to go 17 wins on the trot, we were invited by President Mandela to have lunch with him. It was the captain, Gary Teichman, myself, and the manager, Arthur Peterson, three of us. And the opportunity to go and talk to President Nelson Mandela was an extraordinary one. We were only given an hour, supposedly an hour. And I think he enjoyed being with sportsmen and talking to sportsmen so much that we actually stayed for 2 hours. It was a fascinating time because I asked him questions around the '95 World Cup and around his ability to unite the nation at that time. Remember, there were a lot of people still wanting to sing the old national anthem. Rugby was still very much regarded as an Afrikaner sport and really backed by our Afrikaans government. So to have the newly elected president support the national side was a huge step in a direction of trying to unite South Africa. And what I found was incredible was his story, where he said he went to KwaZulu-Natal and he was wearing a Springbok cap. And as he walked onto the stage, he was booed, and he let the noise abate a little bit. And then he said, gentlemen, what we have to understand is, despite what happened in the past, we are all South African, and South Africa is playing in a World Cup, and we're playing it at home here in South Africa. And I personally will be supporting the Springboks, and I call on you to support the Springboks. And it wasn't well received. In a funny way, it was a very courageous thing to do, and so few people understand the step that he had to take to get black South Africans to support a sport that was very much one that they'd never ever had felt part of. And that was on the one side. And then also the fact that he understood that by taking the step in this direction, reconciling a little bit of the pains of the past through sport, he'd win over a large number of the white population who were pretty much anti the change in government. So it was a moment in time where he seized an opportunity, which was the World Cup, and he just ran with it. And I remember clearly commentating on the opening game at Newlands between Australia and South Africa, and the crowd were just chanting Madib, 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 and it was the most extraordinary feeling. Whereas probably 5 years previous to that, there were huge strikes, huge mayhem between the different cultural groupings in South Africa. And to have that ability to have shown forgiveness and to also inclusivity, as you mentioned, was the first step in the road to where we are now, which was absolutely outstanding.